There's just one thing that I see with Dustin, and that's him not, after he beat Conor McGregor, they asked him, what do you think about Charles Oliveira? He's like, I'm going to kick him in the calf.
Would you mind to talk a little bit more about Oliveira? How do you see you can beat him? How do you see him as your next opponent?
Getting with my coaches and breaking down footage and doing all that, everything that comes along with preparing for an opponent. But I'll probably just calf kick him. Probably.
That's not a good thing, man. You cannot be giving out your game plan away. These dudes are going to plan for that now. And you're right. I think the calf kick, I think everybody should use it. I think that calf kick alone would change will change the whole sport if it's not happening right now. Because the legs are out there. This is why Taekwondo, the way Taekwondo is the way it is, because it's all like this. It's pretty much a level of fencing. Anyhow, you got to be careful giving out those game plans away, because a guy like Charles the Bronx has way better kicks than you, man. You may have better hands, but the dude comes from a great school, and his kicks, his Muay Thai is a little bit better, man.
It's the fight that's going to watch the YouTuber versus the ex-MMA world great, go collide, and this is not one of those heavily favored Jake Paul, heavily favored Woodley. No, this is like split down the middle to some degree. You got all these people and all these MMA guys, all these wrestling guys that refuse to believe that Jake Paul's legit, and no matter what, at the end of the day, we're all going to be entertained.
Yeah,
we are going to be entertained because we're going to see something spectacular from one guy or the other guy. I don't see us having, honestly, because they both create so much power. I think somebody's getting the hell knocked out.
For sure, that's what
I think.
I 100% agree.
Someone's getting the hell knocked out.
100%
I
agree.
mean, I don't know. I'm favoring Jake, but it could easily be Jake's ass on the canvas.
I think
for
Jake's
damn
going
sure,
down.
damn sure, because again, Woodley has that speed, he has that power, he has the fighting experience. He just doesn't have the boxing, and that's why I'm going with Jake, because he doesn't have that. That's the disadvantage. If Woodley had been boxing for 4 years, along with everything, just strictly boxing. I'm not talking about he's been boxing. I'm talking strictly boxing, nothing but boxing. I would probably change and I would go with Woodley. I would say I'll take Woodley because I'll too much experience. But because he hasn't, he's having to play catch up. Remember the word I said, he's having to play catch up. That's why I'm thinking, he might get it. And I'm not saying I'm right, obviously, because if I was right, everybody should go put money on Jake Paul, right? And no one's going to do that. Just because I said so, they're gonna go And also, he's not my fighter. If I don't train with him and I don't see him day in day out, I'm just a fan like everybody else, and I'm just giving my opinion.
Do you feel like, because really one of the things I've always admired so much about Conor and about you really is is his ability to face those losses head on. I think he even has a quote about that. And he
Yes.
always does the press scrum after and is always incredibly gracious in defeat. And you could just sense the frustration when he was talking to Joe Rogan. And is that
Well,
why? I mean, it's a very emotional
yeah,
situation. You can't
I
expect
have
the man
my-
to have
I
a
have
great,
my-
you know.
Yeah, I have my opinions on that. Like his foot is literally hanging down. It's
Acquiring.
it's a clean fracture on the fibula and tibia. It went straight through. His foot's hanging down. You can only imagine the rush of hormones and what's going to be going through your body at that moment. The pain, it was on fire. And then someone sits down and sticks a microphone under your face and how are you feeling right now? And it's like, guys, come on. When is he ever not being gracious at the end? And let's get backstage. Let's get a proper assessment by a doctor. Let's get an X-ray. So I was let's say I was pretty miffed at that idea of shoving a microphone on someone's face at that stage. Sure. Let's gather ourselves and let's anyway, look, what's happened has happened. Little bit of that ankle injury had been aggravated during the camp. We've gotten a scan on it. Did that have a small part to play in weakening it? I don't know.
I was going to ask about that. Did he have? I mean, that was actually going to be one of my questions. Was there anything that happened in the camp that could have caused potentially a hairline fracture? And it sounds like maybe he hurt his ankle. Did he get an X-ray at that point? And did it show any sort of hairline fractures or issues there? Yeah.
So we were in Neil Ella Trash. Some people will probably know him. Pretty famous orthopedic surgeon here in LA. We were with him a couple of weeks ago to get a scan on the ankle, and they say, like, you know, you think when you look at an MRI or a CAT scan, it's perfect, but they say it's more like listening to an engine. A very skilled mechanic can maybe pick up something off it, but it's not till you open up and you'll see it. So there might have been something in there. It would seem unusual that, you know, young, healthy, fit man could wrap his foot around an elbow, without there have been something there before. But you know, you can sort of play those guessing games all day long. At the end of it all, that particular guard, we had worked on that being a spear motion, a horizontal spear motion with the foot, rather than like that kind of karate style flick from the knee. He knows both techniques very well. I just think maybe in the heat of the moment, it was the flick come out rather than the stab, and unfortunately he hit that elbow. But you know, credit to Dustin. That's the way fighting goes. He won.
Savages.
Savages.